This is what I've got for you today, guys. We've been working on the small block, getting a little cleaning done. I went ahead and deglazed the cylinder walls. Tried to clean up the deck. I pulled the little pins out of here. I showed you how I do it. I think right there. And all that so I can clean the deck better. But I had some bad news for the small block. And it's unfortunate, but here's the pistons I pulled out. I went and cleaned them up. I don't know if y'all can see that, but 60 over. These are 60 over pistons, so that pretty well eliminates us using these forged pistons that I showed you in the other video, and pretty much sticks us in this reusing this piston. Good news is though, if you look at these pistons real good, very minimal wear. And I'll get them a little cleaner in this. I know they're really not clean enough yet, but I just soaked them in the Chem dip and hit them with a brush, cleaned them up a little bit. Got most of the carbon off the top, but these pistons weren't run very long, so I think they'll do just fine in the truck motor. I want to give a thanks to a farmer friend of mine that helped me push these off. He has a press and he went ahead and helped me push the pins through and all that stuff. And we didn't mess not one piston up, so that's good. They hadn't been on there that long, so they came off pretty straightforward. Now onto this aluminum head. These are the heads that are going to go on the small block. I'm going to put these pistons back in. We're going to use a set of cast rings. Now y'all did watch me. I will put the footage of me honing the block in there. I'm not looking for a super great finish with the de-glazer. I mean, this tool right here has got its limits, you know. It just does. And I think I've got a rough enough finish. I did order a set of cast rings. I didn't get moly rings or plasma mollies or ductile iron. I got a set of 139 060s, regular old cast rings, gray cast rings. They're Hastings, they're of good quality. But that being said, the surface finish that I put on there, I did run over it a little bit more. It looks fine to me. I think it'll be just fine. Breaking in on cast rings, I mean, it's pretty hard to screw up the finish on that if you're at least moving at all. And it looks good, so they did clean up. Now the thing is with this block, after finding out it was 60 over, this is a last chance block, you know, this is it. You've got a 350 here. I need to put new cam bearings in it. I've got a set of Durabond, I do believe, cam bearings coming in, and I got some new freeze plugs and all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. Put new freeze plugs in it. I'll probably put the back one in because I'm going to knock the cam bearings out and put a new set of cam bearings in this old motor, which is a last chance motor, and I'm going to put these aluminum cylinder heads on that last chance motor because, let me see if I can find it here, the set of Vortecs that were supposed to go on this super budget build, I like how in life nothing ever turns out to be what you want it to be. Rarely. You know, you say I want to do a budget build with a set of aluminum heads. As you can see right here in the middle, I cleaned off. I know y'all can't see it on camera, but there's a crack right in the middle of my head right there, and one starting on the bolt hole, so that head's junk. These are light casting. They're not light casting heads in the sense that they have well, they do have thin decks. They are a light casting head. Great flow numbers and all that stuff. They'll be in the scrap pile. So, what are we gonna do here? We're gonna upgrade the Vortex a whole lot, I guess. What I'm gonna do with these heads, I'm gonna put 100 plus valves in it. Now I have to get my spring locators here. I'm gonna use a 62 or 60,000 spring locator. I'm using 100 plus valve. That should put me at a 750 installed height, or 750 installed height. And I'm going to use a set of LS6 style beehive springs, and I've ordered all that stuff, and it'll be coming in. But I'm getting a set of those, and I'm getting the rate on them was 100, 285 open pressure. The ones I got now, y'all probably wondering, hey, why didn't you use these? Well, there's yet another mistake I made. Yet another mistake I made is these are actually LS1 springs. These are the stock replacement LS1 springs. I got it mixed up. I had ordered them online, and they sit in a box for so long. Now these actually, I did test them. I ran them. They're not bad. They would work with the cam, but the spring locators, I drop them one more time. The spring locators are hard to find for these. And these are the retainers I'm going to use on the LS6 springs. I'm probably going to get the, I think it's called Brian Thorntley. They're a little bit lighter spring, but they're designed exactly the same as the LS6. They have the same diameter for the retainer here that I'm going to need. And these are the top retainers. You know, they're supposed to go in there and be real tight like that. That's what we're looking for. So those valve springs are pretty much, I would have used them on the Vortecs. I wouldn't have had a problem. They have at 170 installed height, it was 100 and I think it was 105 or 106 pounds at 170 installed height, and they could have ran if I ran just a shim underneath them, because these don't need the Vortec heads wouldn't have needed the retainers, the what are they called, locators, that bring it up 60 thousandths. These would have been fine, or to give me just enough clearance to run that camshaft with a 1/2 inch lift. You know, I think it's 470. But the actual Corvette motor that the LS1 was designed on, it has pretty much the same lift as the intake side on that cam. So I know they would have worked all the way up to 5,500 RPMs, which is where I'm going to be anyway. I don't need a high revving motor. That being said, now we're going to run with 100 plus valves. We got the guide plates. The guide plates are coming in. I don't know if I'm going to get comp or I'll get a comparable one. But I'm going to run a 7/16 setup right here, and then run 100 plus valves. Like I said, those Brian Thorntley, I do believe is how you say it. Conical valve springs with the locators. And I got a set of Howard's cams locks, which are the forged locks, and they should work with they're 7 degrees. They should work with these standard 7-degree retainers. If they don't, I'll get new retainers, but they should work with these. And we should have pretty close to a setup head, but I've got to order the valves. I haven't got the valves yet. So when I get them, I'll be able to get more information on my installed height and all that stuff, and how that's going to work out. But we're running these heads now on the small block, and it's a 60 over block, so it's a last run for this old mill, and then it's garbage. So I'm going to get the other block checked out. Now these are the Assault Racing heads. I don't know if you can tell. They're 200 cc's. Now what I'm going to do with them is we'll go ahead and gasket match them and clean up these ports. We're just going to clean it all up, probably with just a regular old sander and, you know, sand and roll and all that. Just clean it up and do a little port work here on the intake side. And I do believe the valve job on this is going to be fine, but I'm going to lap in the valves. There was one thing that was kind of weird about these. They machined them, and when they're CNC machining all this, and that's how they do it, they leave a real sharp angle right here. So when we get the valves in, we'll go ahead and knock that down with a little piece of sandpaper, flatten it out. I'm not going to worry about the bowls. I'm just going to clean up some of this flash on the inside, the casting flash, and these are going right on. I'm not going to worry about it. For a 360 cubic inch engine, these are really overkill. Another guy on the YouTube, he did a light little job on these, and he was up to 207 cc's on the intake side and 84 exhaust side. And for a 360 cubic inch engine, that's just really overkill. But for the price I paid for them, I'm not going to complain. And I will order another set of these. The quality's there. They're all right. Or, you know, they're not a set of Dart Pro 1s. as far as fit and finish. But really, half of the battle with these Chinese heads is just the little stuff. You know, like right here, you know, taking and deburring and doing a little bit of chamber cleanup. It's just little stuff like that. But the machining is done by a machine anyway, most of the work. So it's really just the operator washing it and changing out the tooling and stuff like that once they cast it. But they're you know, they make most things now anyway, and probably make more than you think they do. But that comes down to this question. I got this Vortec here intake manifold, and now I'm gonna ask you guys. A lot of guys like the Vortec manifold, the way it bolts on and all that stuff. I'm not really familiar with it. I haven't run a bunch of motors with the Vortec. I bought it for the Vortec heads over there, and it's an aluminum high-rise intake. You know, probably real good for a truck. And I don't know, I've heard all kinds of horror stories about the gaskets and all that stuff, and I'm just as inclined to put a standard intake on here and do what I know. But I've heard that if you run the right gasket on here, I think it's a MT 9800 something T, or anyway, it's a multi-composite metal gasket, and you just torque these down lightly to 15 foot-pounds that it won't leak. But then again, I've heard other stuff. So y'all guys let me know in the comments if it's a good idea, or will I run a traditional intake and just run me a regular old Edelbrock, or you know, something like that, or just get a cheapy intake. Because now I'm going to have some money in the heads. I went ahead and ordered a set of rings. There's a set of bearings coming for this engine, brand new standard bearings, because we're going to take the other 350 out here in the next few weeks, and I'm going to go take it to the machine shop and see if they can punch it out and what it's going to take to get it punched out and cleaned up. And it's a one-piece rear seal, and I have a set of 383 pistons right here and a set of real high-end rods. But I'll probably just if we're going to build that motor for something totally completely different. But this is going to be with this cam, it's going to be a flat tappet. I've been contemplating whether I should get a roller, just get a mild roller, you know, nothing over the top, truck cam roller kind of thing. But these heads, like I said, they're big intake runners. They'll probably do pretty good on a 360, I hope. But I went ahead and cleaned the block up. I'll show you guys. I went ahead and painted the block. I do got some other news. I'll bring up some Rust-Oleum stuff because I do it in every video. But I went ahead and painted the block with my new Chevrolet orange paint here. I don't know if y'all can see. But yeah, I mixed up some Chevrolet orange just with the regular old Rust-Oleum. And I painted it on with the brush. As a matter of fact, here's the actual paint I used. And I did run Japan dryer in it. There's the paint I used. Nice and thick. And I put 3 coats on the block. Let me take you off. I'll take you over there. But I'll show you what I'm doing here on the block too. I know this is getting a talky video and all that, but I just wanted to let y'all know I'm still working on this stuff. Now here's the engine block. I'll go ahead and turn it. Now before we do that, I went ahead and got these. I wonder if I got a lot. I got this little lantern here. I don't know if that'll work. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to do that to you. But yeah, here's the block. I went ahead and cleaned up the decks. I'm going to show that, y'all see. I just hit them with the wire wheel. But yeah, went ahead and honed these out. I know they're still kind of dirty, but so that's the hone job I did on them. Now, are they perfect? No, but this is old tired block, and I ain't got the money to be pouring in and getting a new block and all that stuff. I got to get that truck running, and I'm not going to pull these plugs out. Some guys do. I'm not pulling these plugs out. Like I said, this block was rebuilt 5,000 miles ago. Anyhow, so when we got it, or when they got it, they just slapped it in the truck, you know, flattened out the cam. Let me see, I gotta take this out. And I'm just gonna clean it up. So I know this was a last chance block. I know they ran probably everything to the maximum on it, so it's not gonna, and I'm not gonna get crazy with measuring it. I'll plastic gauge everything and do all that nonsense. But I've got to wash it again. I got to take it out there and wash it. But yeah, I went ahead and painted it. Just mixed up some Rust-Oleum and did some Rust-Oleum on there. And I tried to clean up as much as I could with a brush. I didn't hit it with a wire wheel or nothing. And it's got some of the stuff on it from the hone job. But yeah, I don't know if y'all can see, but those cam bearings are just toast. From putting that cam in, they really beat them up in the middle, and right here especially you can see a bunch of divots. So it's a good thing I'm going to wash it again. Now you'll hear that from a lot of guys. I'm just going to slap it together, wash it again. All I do is take a water hose and wash it. Now my hand's dirty, and this camera costs more than the whole engine over there. So that's how much I like doing videos. But anyway, guys, like I said, I mixed up some more paint. We're gonna go ahead and run these rods. I'm not gonna get to use the forged pistons that I wanted to, and I'm not gonna buy a set of forged pistons for a block that's in that bad a condition. So all that being said, but anyway, guys, like always, I appreciate you tuning in. I know this is kind of a scattered video. I just figured I'd do one since I was out here and let you know what's going on and why you haven't gotten any more slapping it back together videos this week. So like always, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and as always, God bless, guys.